Raiden woke up to the sounds of birds chirping as usual. He put on his famous Thunder God outfit. However, the top was different since Ashura ripped his old one during his birthday. That was a few weeks ago. He teleported to Edenia and decided to visit Princess Katana. "Hello, is anyone home?" Raiden called out. "Yes, we're home," a familiar voice replied. "It's me, Raiden. Can I come in?" "Sure, come inside," the voice replied. Raiden entered the place and entered the kitchen to only see Katana, Jade, and Fujin having, a tea party, and Fujin was wearing a frilly dress. "Oh my god," Fujin muttered, and banged his head on the table. Raiden's eyes widened and soon burst into laughter. "You look so retarded, Fujin." Raiden clutched his stomach and rolled onto the floor. "Please kill me now," Fujin muttered inaudibly. After a few minutes of laughter, Raiden finally calmed down and sat next to Fujin. "So, Fujina," Raiden started. Fujin glared at him. "Why are you here?" "Well, Katana and Jade called me because they needed help with the problem. So as soon as I came, they attacked me. And the next thing I knew, I was in this stupid dress drinking stupid tea," Fujin replied. "You're such an idiot, Fujin," Raiden retorted and took a sip of tea. "Shut up, you bastard," Fujin yelled and stormed off. "Man, he's so sensitive." Raiden took another sip of tea. "So, Raiden, how are things you with Ashura?" Jade asked. "Fine, why?" Raiden asked curiously. "Well, because a few weeks ago you two, did it during your birthday party," Katana added. "Don't worry, we used protection," Raiden replied. "Why did it take you so long to pause after we?" Jade replied skeptically. "Oh, nothing," Raiden protested. "Okay, then Raiden, we were just asking," Katana apologized. Suddenly there was a knock on the door. "Hey Raiden, it's for you," Fujin shouted. "Who could it be?" Raiden asked and walked towards the front door with Katana and Jade following him. "Who is it?" Raiden asked. Fujin stepped out of the way and Ashura came inside. "Hello Ashura, what are you doing here?" Katana asked. "This bastard got me pregnant!" Ashura shouted and pointed a finger towards Raiden. "What?" Raiden shouted back. "You got me pregnant, you freaking thunder god!" Ashura shouted back and punched Raiden square in the face, knocking him out. "Oh my god!" Jade exclaimed. "Damn," Fujin said. "I'm gonna go get some more tea." "Ashura, maybe you should sit down. Katana, go take Raiden upstairs," Jade said and led Ashura to the kitchen. Raiden started to grumble and stir awake. He opened his one eye and soon both. He sat up and recognized he was inside Katana's room. "Oh, what happened?" Raiden said out loud. "Ashura knocked you out," Katana replied, who was sitting across from Raiden. "Are you okay?" she asked. "Yes, except for my bruising cheek and head," Raiden replied and rubbed his sore neck. "I never knew Ashura could hit so hard," Katana said. Raiden grumbled and stood up from his bed. "You know, if you two did it, sparks probably fled." Katana began to snicker. "Oh, don't you start with any puns," Raiden protested. "You know this whole pregnant thing was shocking. Ha ha ha." Katana laughed. Raiden growled in anguish and left the room. "Hey, don't you leave your mighty short circuit." Katana was really starting to get on Raiden's nerves. Raiden walked downstairs to see Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Sonya, Jax, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Jade, Fujin, Sindel, a very pissed off Ashura, Kenshi, Ermac, Kun Lao. Katana finally came downstairs and sat next to Sindel. "What are you all looking at?" Raiden asked, annoyed. "Nothing," Liu Kang said. "So how are you?" Sonya asked. "Fine," Raiden replied. "So, Daddy," Jade said. Raiden glared at her. "What happened?" I thought you used the protection I gave you," Ashura said with a cold, harsh tone. "Well, I actually didn't use protection." Everyone gasped except for Ashura, who became even more pissed off. "You what?" she shouted. "Ow," Scorpion complained. "Well, the protection you gave me was a tad small," Raiden admitted. Katana snickered loudly. "I'm sorry, it's just a cold..." She lied. "Oh, shut up," Raiden said. "What do you mean small? I mean, sure, you're 7 feet tall, but that's no excuse not to wear protection." Ashra retorted. Hey, that protection you got from me was 6 feet tall men, and I'm 7 feet tall, Raiden shouted back. Okay, you two, settle down. Now look, we are here to talk about the whole pregnancy thing, not the size of Raiden's... Never mind, Sindel said. Now look, Ashra, all this anger is not good for the baby, Kitana said. Ashra sat down and pouted. Raiden sat down next to her. Now you two are going to be parents no matter what, Sindel said. Too bad there's no such things as abortions, Ashra grumbled inaudibly. What did you say? Kitana asked. Nothing, Ashra replied. Whatever you two like it or not, you both will be parents and like, Sindel shouted, and walked off to the kitchen. The others left to give Ashra and Raiden some alone time. Look, Ashra, I'm sorry for not using the protection, but now's not the time to be angry. We're going to be parents, and we both need to be there for the child, Raiden said softly, and held Ashra's hand. Okay, Raiden, we're both in this together, Ashra replied softly, and gave Raiden a warm hug. Meanwhile, the others were just watching from the kitchen. Oh, that is so sweet, Kitana cooed. Whatever, Scorpion said in disgust. You're just like that because you can't get yourself a girl yourself, Kitana retorted. Scorpion clenched his fist and turned to glare at the princess. Why, you little bitch! Scorpion growled and stalked towards Kitana. Now, you two calm down, Sub-Zero said. Stay out of this! They both snapped. They both glared at each other until Scorpion took off his mask, and as did Kitana, and they both kissed. Oh my god! Liu Kang shouted and fainted. Well, we didn't see that one coming, Kenshi remarked. How can you see? You're blind, Ermac retorted. Did you promise you wouldn't yell at me anymore? Ah! Kenshi cried and ran away. Gosh, he's so sensitive, Ermac said and sat down. Hey, where did Kitana and Scorpion go? Jade asked. Sindel shrugged and walked towards the closet, but as soon as she opened it, her eyes opened wide. Kitana, who was wearing nothing but her bra and panties, was making out with Scorpion, who was shirtless and wearing nothing but boxers. Oh my god! Sindel shouted and fainted. Well, that was interesting, Jade remarked. I just hope the baby gets delivered soon, Ermac said. 9 months later. Ah! Ashra shouted in pain. Don't worry, baby, you'll be alright, Raiden assured her. Shut up! Ashra shouted and squeezed Raiden's hand tightly. Ow, you're hurting me! Raiden winced. Just a little more, Ashra, the doctor said. Man, that must really hurt, Scorpion said. Oh my god! Ashra shouted even more loudly. One more push, I see the head, the doctor said, and it was ready to pull out the baby. Push! Ah! The scream was then followed by a small crying. Ashra then finally settled down and looked to see the doctor holding a baby. It's a boy, the doctor exclaimed happily. Both Rain and Ashra smiled happily at their new baby. Who's ready to see their mommy? The doctor said and handed Ashra the bundle of joy. He's so cute and he looks just like his father, Ashra said and looked up at Raiden. Do you want to hold him? Raiden nodded yes and took the small child in his arms. Hey there, little guy. I'm your daddy, he said softly. The baby looked up to him and smiled, who grabbed Raiden's finger. Aw, got quite the grip, Kitana said. He sure does, Raiden replied. Being a father isn't going to be easy, though. Well, and that, my pretties, was Raiden's a Daddy, a Mortal Kombat fanfiction written by Super Silent K. Now, my final thoughts on it? Now, for those of you who don't know, this is actually a sequel to Raiden's Birthday. Like, I did narrate that story the other day, and I decided to read the sequel to it. And it's a really great sequel, I personally do have to say. I mean, part of it was a little funny. I mean, I did stifle giggles here and there. And, funny enough, Ashra used to be my favorite character in Mortal Kombat back then. Well, I mean, she still is my favorite, but I like Kitana even more. So, I personally really enjoyed the concept of this. It's personally really good. Like, I definitely do have to really say, it's a pretty good story. I mean, I personally really thought it was enjoyable. I can't even speak for some reason today, but This story was really enjoyable and really well done. I personally really think that this was a really great sequel. Now, I will leave a link in the description for this story in case you haven't been seen it yet, but yeah, it's a good film. I mean, I think Ashra and Raiden ship is a pretty good couple. I really hope it becomes canon in the Mortal Kombat games. Who knows? Maybe it will be canon eventually. But anyways, yeah, I mean, the grammar is good. I did notice there was a few grammatical errors and there was a few punctuation marks. So, I mean, basically, every character that speaks apparently, gets jumbled up in the one sentence a bit. And that could be a bit confusing, especially with that. I mean, it is quite confusing saying to read at certain parts, but I personally think that this was a pretty good story. I personally really enjoyed it a whole lot. So, I mean, there was a few punctuation errors that need to be revised, but other than that, this one was actually not a bad story. I mean, it's a pretty good one. So, it's there is a sequel to this called Raiden's Fatherhood, which I might consider narrating that, but not really going to guarantee when that will be though, because that's going to depend on when I have the opportunity and when I have the time. So yeah, that's going to really kind of depends on when I have the opportunity to narrate it. But right now I've been, really busy with, a lot of stuff going on, so, and narrating stories. And there is a Mortal Kombat Christmas story that's kind of based around this universe called Mortal Christmas. So I might consider narrating that for Christmas. If you guys would like me to do that for Christmas, I can definitely do that. I think, it's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I personally really enjoy this a whole lot. I thought it was a really neat story. I mean, it was quite funny too. I personally really enjoyed it. I thought this was a really good one. So anyways, yeah, I mean, this is not a bad story, but it does need some improvement, but maybe the author's probably written better stories in the future, which is hard to say. I mean, people improve over time, like I have. I mean, I've written bad stories in the past, but I learn from my mistakes and I know that I can strive to become a better person. So that is definitely really something I can say. Now, I mean, this is a really awesome, it was just great. I personally enjoyed this one. I thought Raiden's birthday was pretty good, but this one was just as good as that one. So, I guess with that being said and that being the case, like I'm always going to say, like I always continue to say, this is just simply my own personal opinion, and if you happen to disagree with it, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these stories, and this is just simply my own personal thoughts. I'm gonna give this story a 9 out of 10. It's a really great story. I thought it was funny too, and it was pretty good, but some grammatical errors and punctuation errors need to be fixed up. And the fact that, character dialogues, there was a few times where different characters were talking and I didn't know who was talking. So yeah, that does need to be fixed up. Like maybe have it in each line, one character says something thing. And yeah, I mean, if you put it in a one sentence and, multiple characters' dialogues, that can be kind of confusing because you obviously can't figure out, who's talking, if that makes sense. So, I mean, I hope the author takes the advices that I'm giving him or her for their past mistakes in the story. I mean, I know not everybody's perfect when it comes to story writing. Like, I'm not perfect either. I mean, I do screw up here and there, but at least I know I can do better. And anyways, with that being said, yeah, still a pretty good story. I thought it was really well done. I mean, it's a really great story. I personally enjoyed it. So, anyways, what did you guys personally think of this story? Did you like it? Did you not? Also, what you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Feel free to let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. Shout out to the Lion Queen. Thank you so much for watching today's video. And if you enjoyed this channel, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you're new. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload, so that way you guys will not miss an upload. As always, if you guys want to go follow me on Twitter, follow me on DeviantArt, follow me on Blue Sky, and follow me on my backup channel known as Mr. Shigo. Links to all those will be in the About page section, so you guys can go follow me on there. And yeah, that's all I have to really say, but if I'm missing something, please let me know what it is. And yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Super Silent K. Really good job with the story. There was a few problems with it, but they were minor problems. They're not like too major or anything, but I still really enjoyed this story. So anyways, hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Roll the outro because I'm out.
What's up, my pretties? It's the Lion Queen here. I want to appreciate you all for tuning into this video, and I do appreciate you guys supporting my video by giving this video likes and stuff. If you really enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you're new, ring the bell for notifications to when I upload so that way you guys will get updated for whenever I upload. If you want to follow me on Twitter or DeviantArt, feel free to leave a follow on those if you are interested in following me on those socials. If you want to support my backup channel, known as Ms. Dark Shigo, feel free to subscribe to it, as a link to that will also be in the About page section. And with that being said, and that being the case, thank you so much for watching, my pretties, and as always, please stay pretty.